Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Do you like this nice contraption in the middle of the room?
Does it work?
No.
I'm pretty sure I read some after we recorded last time
I,
that they patched that out in this version of the game.
well, so that's what you had said. I went to a single player world on this version of the game and tested it, and it works fine. It works
Interesting.
fine. However, in that world, I also have like 8 different pistons with 8 different, blocks underneath. So I'm not sure if it's a thing with a single or maybe it's been patched in multiplayer.
Oh, so you think?
Yeah. So,
I don't think they had different versions of the game though.
wait, I just made a huge hole in the ground somehow. How did I just do that?
What do you mean?
From up here underneath where the sand is supposed to be, it's just a hole that I can see.
Oh, I can't see that. I see a piece of cobble.
Wait. Oh no, I can literally see just a hole right here to the ground.
To what?
To underneath. Like I see lava down there. It's like a shaft. It's like a mine shaft. If I walk down there, I'd fall like 20 blocks.
Huh?
And
That
you
must
don't
be
see that.
some kind of like chunk error style thing.
Yeah, that's strange. What if I place a block next to it and then nope, it's still there.
Can you go?
That's no, because right now the sand is amazingly in the way, even though it's hovering on top of something. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on right now.
Huh.
Either way, so I was thinking if we can find more slimes at some point, I will try a bigger setup with this because it does work in the single player world. Oh, there's one more slime chunk. I wonder, or with slime. I wonder if I can make another piston and try it with 2.
I mean, you could. You definitely have everything you need.
I do, though I forget how you make a piston already.
What's wood on top?
And then is it a piece of
Cobble
iron and then
inside.
stone on the bottom?
There's cobble somewhere, isn't there?
Oh, I meant cobble when I said stone. I think it's
Yeah, but
three woods
I
and
thought
iron
the
in the
cobble's
middle.
on the side. What's on the bottom? Bottom.
Oh, cobble on the side. Oh, it might be 4. Like that?
Yeah, I think it's like 4 cobble. But then I don't know what's on the very bottom.
Well, crap. I'm going to have to go to a different window. Minecraft piston. I become so reliant to when we play the new versions on like the fact that the library exists.
Yeah, yeah. It has made a. Well, as long as you found the. I don't like the way they did it. Basically, I wish it was. More
Yeah,
like
it's not
Candy Eye.
it's not great. Oh, it's a piece of redstone on the bottom is what it is.
That makes sense. We should have figured
Yeah.
that out. That's logical.
It is.
Ugh. So, anything new? Any
I mean with me or
politics?
the world?
Uh, yeah. Presidential immunity. That's fun.
Yeah, it's I will tell you the strangest part of it is when the decision first came out, I was reading a lot of hysteria from people. But then I was also reading from other people going like, no, this is kind of what we expected. All these people who are getting crazy about it just haven't read the full thing yet because this is not anything crazy. So I was kind of like feeling better. I was like, oh, okay.
You don't feel that way still, though, right?
No, I don't at all. And I'm trying to figure out where the people who were like, oh no, this is kind of what we
I
expected.
think some
This is
people
fine. Like,
misunderstood and thought it just got knocked down to the lower courts where they could decide what is and is not official acts. But basically, that's not really what has happened.
no, that's not what happened at all. Well,
But
I mean, well, in a way it is because they didn't make any decisions on what is an official. Didn't they like scold like Chutkin for not setting up something as an official act? Like, you didn't talk about what an official act is. What's wrong with you? You should have done that.
I'm not sure about that part. So yeah, I don't know for sure. But yeah, I do think a lot of people think that this is something that's still something's going to happen, and it's really not. Like that was it. That's it now. We're done with this. That was that.
Yeah, that's and what about where I find it even more baffling is the decision aside. not only did it give way more leeway than was being like asked for and like what can be used as evidence and all that crazy stuff, which is just insane. But why would Thomas just all of a sudden go out on his own opinion and talk about the fact that he also thinks that Jack Smith is not appropriately put into place, and therefore he basically has Cannon's back if she dismisses it?
Oh, I didn't even see that, actually.
Yeah, he put in his dissenting or his opinion. He also decided to talk about how,
Oh,
that's
I did not. I missed that part, actually.
yep, Jack Smith is illegitimate and he shouldn't have ever been a prosecutor on this in the first place.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a little outside of their scope.
I mean, they've been kind of outside of their scope a lot lately, it seems.
Yeah, which I know people who are going to be on the other side of the the political leaning spectrum than us are going to disagree with these statements as they watch this video, but I'm scared.
Yeah, I think we should be. I think that's probably a good idea. Things weren't looking great before the debate, and the debate didn't help anyone that I like. It's really scary now because it could, yesterday could have went differently in terms of the decision by the Supreme Court, but that just made everything worse. Then the Chevron deference also, like, everything is awful.
Yeah, there's a lot of awful going on, and I mean, no matter how you look at the decision, based on who's in office, how does that not scare you in some way, shape, or form?
Well, yeah, like, it's weird that Biden has to come out and be like, I'm not going to abuse my power that I've now been given. It's like, if it's clear to everyone that this is an abuse of power, why? Oh, the Supreme Court just doesn't give a shit anymore, man. They're just out there, just
but the big problem is, and I think you understand this as well, them not giving a shit. It sets up anarchy.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I think, like, honestly, I think this is way worse than a lot of people even realize. Like, I think that we're looking at a situation where things are only going to get worse, like, rapidly.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand how people could think this would make things better in any way. I mean, it's weird because it's like, even if you were out there just trying to help Trump in some way, shape, or form, which, obviously, like, that was a big part of it in my view and opinion, they were doing this solely for the purpose of saving Trump, but they went so overboard with it, it just sets up the downfall of America.
Yeah.
And I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're being, like, irrational, like, with your thought process. I don't think I am.
I mean, how long until it's abused is the question, right? Like, if there's no limitation on what a president can do and then say it's an official act, and the thing is, you can't question anything about the situation to find out if it is an official act, because that's what the Supreme Court said, basically. You cannot question the president on what is an official act. So there's no way to determine what an official act is. So therefore, everything is an official act if they say so.
Right. And which is where it gets even scarier, is the fact that they were, throwing shade at, the, Chutkin and all for not having decided what's official and unofficial act. What does that matter? Because who says that why would Chutkin's decision on what's an official act be? How is that not just going to get appealed up to the court?
Right.
Say, oh, these aren't official acts, so therefore these can still be prosecuted. That's just going to be an immediate appeal. Going to go back to the D.C. Circuit Court because, of course they won't take it up, even if Jack Smith says, hey, Supreme Court, take this up immediately. Like, he already tried with this craziness.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. Like, I don't know what the future holds, but it doesn't look good right now.
I really wish my ability to get Italian citizenship was looking better than it is.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people were like, if Trump gets reelected, I'm looking to leave the country and stuff like that. But things were looking much better back then than they do now.
Yeah, especially after the debate. And I don't want to put everything on the debate, but God, did Biden just do so poorly at that debate.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that man that night. They said he has had a
A
cold.
cold. Yep.
Yeah,
Cold.
but I don't know if I believe him. I don't know.
I mean, it is kind of wild how everything that came out of Trump's mouth was just a lie, and but he clearly won, quote unquote, because nobody seems to care that he lies all the time.
Yeah, no, politics are just a performance. Honestly, at this point, there's no the truth doesn't matter.
I'm so baffled that this does not work in multiplayer.
Try to find more.
I'm trying so hard. So hard.
I thought it did take 2 pistons, but
well, not the way I did it in the single player world. You just put the pistons on top and they pick up the block and then go down like it drops again. And it just, if you do it in the right order, it just starts duping.
huh.
That is clearly not happening in my test case over here. Yep, it's not like they're just hidden blocks that I can't see. It's just no worky.
Maybe it's like a sync issue.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think is that maybe it's doing stuff on my screen that looks like it's the same way it was in single player, but it's only like rendering it like every so many ticks or whatever in the back end because it's trying to be more multiplayer efficient. But like you said, were they actually different?
Yeah, I feel like there wasn't differences between the two back then. But I mean, there's got to be some differences.
Because for a long time they were two like different engines, right?
I don't remember anymore. Actually, I think you're right though. Yes, yeah, you had to download a separate jar. It wasn't a different engine because like Java's the engine, right? But different software ran the thing, and that might still be the case. I honestly don't know. I don't remember anymore. I don't know how this game works. I think it is still the case. I think you have to have a separate jar. Yeah, for like multiplayer jar.
That saddens me. No glass on my lava. I mean, I did find a spot, actually. It went up near the surface, and there was definitely sand by where I was at. So there's a way to get more sand. We're not like...
Well, that's what I did when I played this the first time, is I found a spot like that, and I gathered all I could. It wasn't like I had infinite amounts or anything, but...
Yeah, I just really wanted unlimited glass so that we could just have it look pretty everywhere.
Yeah, makes sense.
But that is, sadly, not going to be the case. Which area are you out working in now?
I honestly don't know. I think when you go out the door, you can see my name, actually. I can see you inside the base.
Front door or back door?
Oh, our base is just like, you can just go in. I'm like above your thing. And literally, you can just walk into our base. From up top here where your redstone's at. And it's dark over here, too.
Well, maybe we should fix that. I mean, I was just up there breaking some blocks to give it enough room to build what I built, so I didn't really pay much attention if I sealed it up. Let's see. Was it different above? Yeah, if my job was not working for, the federal government, I would be much more keen on looking to see if I had a remote position, looking to see if I could do it from like internationally.
Yeah. Is there no international opportunities for your job?
No, you're definitely, as a federal worker, unless you're like approved for it, you're not like, if I'm going on vacation to Canada at the end of the month, and I'm not even allowed to bring my like work laptop because I don't have approval to do so because it's international travel.
I see. So it's like a security thing.
Yeah. Not that I have like a special security clearance or anything. It's just a government employee thing. I guarantee people break that law all the time and don't even realize they're doing it because they're not doing it for nefarious intent. They're just like traveling somewhere and not even thinking about the fact that they're
kind of like your box of Dilaudid you once had.
Yeah. Like the stuff that I would just show up with in my pocket because it was the extras, and it was just like, oh, throw it in the box. Had no idea at the time how big of a deal that was or could have been. God, that was a good thing I wasn't like a drug addict or anything like that, because
Well, you wouldn't have had a
that,
box of Dilaudid if you were.
that's true. It would have been empty. That's for sure. I mean, and I did have some friends who, throughout the years that I was there for, who got caught purposefully stealing drugs because they were addicted. Had one of our techs actually OD'd from something and died from it a couple of years after I worked with him in the emergency department.
Damn.
So it's really sad because the access was at that time was so easy.
Is it a bit better now?
I think there's a lot more drug diversion programs and stuff going on now, because that was kind of the beginning of like the whole opioid crisis.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was as tightly policed as it is now. But now that it's, such a big deal with the crisis, it's way more tightly policed. And so I don't work there anymore, so I have no idea how it is. I don't do patient care. I don't have access to that type of stuff anymore.
Right. Yeah, it was about that time where my grandma was in the rehab, and they apparently were saying she was taking like 5 Percocets every 4 hours or some shit like that. And so when she got out and I went and picked up her prescription, I picked up literally like 2,500 fucking Percocet. It was so many, just manufacturer bottles. They each had 500 in them. And I didn't really pay attention to what it was or anything. I just filled the prescription, right? And then I get home and I'm looking through everything because I'm like making her pills for her. And I'm like, there's no way you're taking this much Percocet. You wouldn't be conscious ever. And she wasn't taking any Percocet.
Clearly she wasn't. Yeah, clearly she wasn't taking it. Because...
Yeah. So I ended up reporting the place, and everyone got fired. So apparently they were doing this a lot on a much larger scale than just her. They were saying that they were prescribing, or that people were taking Percocet, and then they were just selling them.
Well, but the ironic thing is, like, your grandma ended up with them all, right?
Well, that's because her same medication got prescribed to her when she was discharged. And then I went and filled it.
Oh. So that was in the hospital they were, or in the home or whatever it was, they were doing that. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, because it doesn't really serve them too much good if she's prescribing it and she's getting it.
Yeah, hope she brings them back.
Yeah. Maybe she'll realize she doesn't need them all, and then they'll be ours.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when I first started hearing about them, the thought process of making Narcan be something that just people could have, like, at home to administer in the community. I remember being like, that's such a crazy concept. I can't believe that they would be just, having people have drugs at home to save others. Like, that's insane to me, because it was such a new and different thing. And now I wish they had like dispensing boxes on every street corner for it, just so it was readily available.
What does it do exactly? Like,
it blocks the receptors from the opioids. So basically, but it doesn't last as long as the opioids do. So you have to, the half-life of it is much shorter. So you have to, like, can't give it and just walk away.
Gotcha.
Because I mean, the reason that most people die from opioid overdoses is not because like the opiate itself kills them. It's because it does respiratory depression,
right?
And people just stop breathing because their respiratory system is depressed. So the whole point of it is to block those effects so that you start breathing again. Granted, depending on what the people were taking, I've definitely delivered it in both the hospital and in the field as an EMT to people who came in unconscious for one reason or another with respiratory depression, and you give it to them and they get up and get very angry.
Oh,
For one, that you took away their high. For two, they didn't realize that they took drugs somewhere and went to sleep, quote unquote, or were feeling good, and then they woke up and all of a sudden they're in a hospital surrounded by people who don't know what's going on. Like, hey, I didn't even know you were over here.
Yeah, I'm looking for dark areas, honestly.
Yeah, I remember once we had an ambulance who had ambulance guy come running into the door, and he's like, "We're bringing somebody we just found in the parking lot." Over the Children's Hospital was like directly connected in my parking lot of our emergency department, and I guess he was walking through Children's Hospital's parking lot for whatever reason, which I still don't get why this ambulance driver was walking through their parking lot. But I guess he found a guy who his kid was in Children's for something, and he decided to go out to his car and overdose on some type of opiate, and we loaded him up with some Narcan. He popped up out of the bed, and he just said, "Let me the fuck out of here. You need to let me go. I have my rights." Like, it was wild.
Whenever I was visiting the ER, oh, there's a slime ball over here.
Ooh, Steinbach.
It
I don't
must
even
have
know where
died
I
in
went
the
to anymore.
lava over here because it's just sitting on the ground.
Well, but where are you? Okay, you're right there because that's got to be like a slime chunk then, right? Or
Yeah, this is
somewhere
where we
around
got
here
all the other
does.
slime, like right in this area right here.
All other two of them.
Yeah, but yeah, they were literally right here is where you killed that one, where I'm standing right now.
Okay. I'll just keep an eye on where we're at in relation to the house because I don't really have any idea.
We should mark it.
With
Block of redstone.
here, wait, and I'll put this wheat plant down here, which I'm sure will not get trampled at all. Oh, I don't have any seeds. Never mind. I mean, we clearly come in and out of this area a lot because there's a lot of waterfalls that we set up in visible distance. But I don't know the directions to get back to the base from here. Huge lava pool down there, though.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Do you have a workbench on you?
No, but I have wood. I can make one.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay, he died.
Guess so.
Where do you want it? There. I mean, that's a good mark, too. Random workbench.
Guess so, yeah. I think me and Jess are gonna... There wasn't blocks of redstone in this version of the game.
Oh.
Okay.
That's
I
an
have
interesting thing for you and
sticks?
Jess to do or not do.
Yeah. What I was gonna say. I think we might watch Travelers. That way I can like
Yeah.
rewatch it. And can I have a stick? Or a couple of sticks, maybe?
No, you asked for one. You get one.
Okay.
That's all I had on me. Hold on. I got more wood, though. I can make sticks. Yes, please. So I want you to watch the last season and tell me what you think about the whole package.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see.
I did watch Eminem's video, by the way.
Do you like it?
Yes, very much so. I think the song itself is great, and the video is just very comical because it just really brings it back from mixing all the old stuff that he did. I think it was brilliant work.
I think the way down here is like over here. It is. I'm making a breadcrumb trail back to base, basically. But I ran out of torches.
Much. Oh wait, what is? Oh, hi, Spidey.
So I think.
Well, are you guys all caught up with what was it, Survivor?
No, we never have gone back to Survivor since the first subathon. There's a new season of Alone, but it's airing like week to week right now on Thursdays. So we did check it out, but I think
I'm at
wait.
the last redstone torch that you put down and have no idea where you went.
I went back to reclaim some of these redstone torches.
Oh,
That way I can just spread them out more. That way, with like, as long as there's one visible from each one. Should be able to
Oh, a
find
new
out.
season of The Bear is out. If you watch The Bear,
What's that?
you never seen The Bear? The Bear, it is so good.
Okay.
So good. It's about a guy who basically owns ran a restaurant. He's a chef, and then he ends up going and taking over for his
I saw
cousin
that.
who died on his It starts a little slow and weird because we just saw it on Hulu one day that it existed. They were clearly advertising it. We're like, let's watch this, and it was very weird for the first episode or two. We were trying to figure out what it was going to be, but it's just so good. It's so powerful. Oh yeah, we're right. It's so powerful.
I think the guy that plays the head chef is one of the people from the show Shameless. At least it looked like him in the preview or whatever. I was looking through Hulu yesterday.
He just was a guest on Steve Colbert's show, and I cannot for the life of me remember what his name is. Michael Carney? No. I think Carney's his name in the show. Is it Michael something?
We're currently watching Castle Rock. We kind of binge watched a couple things this week. We watched all of Blackbird, It's an Apple TV show. It's a true story based off of a serial killer. It's pretty good. I liked it. It was only like 10 episodes, 8 episodes, something like that. But it's pretty good. It's like about this guy that gets caught and sent to prison, and then they catch the serial killer guy that constantly confesses to all these serial killings, but then he like
it's not actually him.
unconfesses. It is actually him in the long run, but they had all these police departments had let him go over the years because they're like they'd find someone else to confess and all this shit, and it was actually him. And so these two detectives were convinced it was him, and so this other guy that got arrested for selling drugs, they basically do a deal with him where if he switches prisons, goes into this prison and gets this guy to confess and say where the bodies are at, they'll commute his 10-year sentence. And so he does. He goes in and gets it done. And I read about it after we got done watching it, and apparently it's like the show. Some people like think it's like unbelievable because it's so true. The show is to what actually happened that it seems unbelievable that this could happen in real life. Of course, they hadn't seen like 2016 through today yet.
Yeah, I was going to say they were living in the past.
But it's pretty wild. It's a pretty wild show. It was good. We like that. Then we watched the remake of The Stand on CBS, I think it was. That was pretty good too. Did you ever like horror Stephen King stuff?
No, not really.
Yeah. I think we talked about this recently, actually.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, I was just never into that. My sister was really into Stephen King, like novels, and she actually didn't like the movies that much because she said the books were so much better. And I remember her describing it to me like, some people can spend, we'll get through a whole like scene in a page. It takes Stephen King like 60 pages to describe the moss that's growing on the rock, and I'm like, how is that entertaining?
Yeah, I guess what level of detail you really want. Yeah, like the start of Under the Dome it's probably fucking 10 pages describing this badger walking down the side of the road. Goes into extreme detail about this badger, and then the dome appears and cuts him in half.
Do you think that's where Badge got his name?
Yes.
He's like, I'm so enthralled with these 10 pages about the badger, I want to be the badger.
I mean, he had the name before that, but apparently it's some Call of Duty thing or something. He was in some guild back in the day. Badge was. That's where the W92 comes from.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Stephen King was. I was like, wow. That's
yes. Where is this damn skeleton? There's multiple down there. A whole of skeletons.
Well, I do think it's good wrapping up.
Oh, yeah, fuck. The timer went off. We were in the middle of talking about travelers, and I was like, I'll tell him after we finish this sentence, and I forgot. But yes, you're right. We're out of time. Thanks for watching.